Good morning. And how is everybody this fine day, this fine light day? I'm just so enjoying the light mornings. I don't know when we change, um, but for now, it's amazing. So this morning, what we want to do is a little bit more letting go. And let's just run over some letting go facts. When you let go of wanting to be right, of not being able to see a solution. Good morning. Of the holding on to the past. Remember that the cells go from this kind of contracted state to, there's no way out here to, oh, there is a way out and it's all good. There's not a problem here. So you're going from problem focused into solution. And, I think I keep saying I don't know how people survive if they don't know how to let go because it's such challenging times for everyone. And the kind of insecurity and the, not being sure about anything really, what's going to happen, what the body's doing, whatever it is that you're not sure of, if you can't control it, we absolutely have to accept it. And there's never been a more powerful time for us to move into courage, acceptance, and peace, and being able to observe the madness, the crazy thoughts without believing that they're real and that that is anything to do with us in terms of the judgment of ourselves. And so when we let go, we're not letting people off the hook because that's a common misconception. It doesn't mean that we don't take action, the very opposite. It means that we take action from a neutral space, looking for a solution for all. And when we cannot control the apparent other or others, and often this happens in a work situation. When I was living in Glasgow, most of my clients were working on their workmates because very often you feel you don't have any choice in your workplace. You need the money. So you have to go to work with people that you're not resonating with. So when we are not resonating, and that can happen in the home too. Maybe your partner have gone through a hard time. Maybe it's parents, maybe it's kids, teenagers that you're just at the end of your tether, and you feel that you're in a place that that you're a bit powerless. So, like, instead of trying to control, I love that. I can't remember the man's name, but he's talking about don't try and engineer your kids. Just do your best to shepherd them. And there is absolutely no way you're going to control your kids. Let me tell you that right now. My mum tried for a little bit to control me and then realised she was wasting her energy. So, and if you know that after a certain age, 18, they absolutely don't listen to your advice anyway. They're on their own journey. You can just take the rest of your life off and stop feeling guilty, because that is a big issue for a lot of parents. We're feeling, what did I do? You never did anything. That was always the way it was going to be. So as soon as we stop that trying to control, there's a way, there's a path in life that's probably going to be easy. And we maybe perceive it's going to be a bit boring. If you follow the commandments, following the 12 step, following what it is to be a good human. And when we veer off that path, as we all do, you can be riding in the verge. It can get a bit ropey for a bit, and then you bring yourself back into this alignment. And that's life. We're going to go off road now and again without any doubt. And then we can just center and come back into that place of neutrality, of observation, of being the witness. And also, if you see that video I posted about the woman that gets struck by lightning, I love listening to these stories of people that leave their body and have these experiences, because it does help you to unfix from your view of reality, because our perception is the thing that's causing all the suffering. And if you have a hostile perception, and this is Carolyn Macy's work, you're destroying your body, because the message the body is getting all day, every day is there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. And as soon as you start consciously or unconsciously saying there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem, you start to eject all the stress hormones into the body. And if you do that day after day after day, you will be knackered. So if you are knackered, feeling knackered, we know we want to change that language. We want to access consciousness, and we will say, what would it take for me to have more energy? What would it take for me to stop running this over and over and over in my head? How does it get better than this? Just a general plea to the unified field or God, whatever you want to call it. I don't mind. To me, it's all the same thing. What would it take for me to feel more energetic, more alive, more motivated? How does it get better than this in terms of how can I live my life in a different way that's going to make me feel better? And maybe that is just simply a shift in your perception. So if you look out right now at everything that's going on, I don't know if any of you watch Panorama, I don't watch the BBC, but it's trending today, and there's a lot of fear around what the Tories are doing. But who else is going to, I mean, let's face it, Labour, I don't know. It seems to me that entire system, there's nowhere great to go there. So what do we then do? We have to let go of the fear, let go of wishing that they were different and trying to figure them all out and wondering what's going to happen, that waiting and waiting and waiting. And what can we do is we can take responsibility for our own energy field, our own energy system. So let's do it. So start with, if anybody's got any problem that they're finding difficult to deal with, just pop it into the box and I will address it personally. So when we are having these negative thoughts and maybe we kind of get lost, we don't even realize we're doing it because we're still a little bit unconscious, and we're kind of like we're caught in the trap before we realize it. And like, I've been doing that again. I've been thinking about that again, thinking about them again, something that's really unhelpful for your own alchemy. So we can switch that around with, start off with your words and your questions, access consciousness. What would it take for me to be free from that thought? What we did yesterday with Byron Katie, was that the day before? Is it even true? Is any of the stuff, in this subjective universe, we're focusing in, we're going to do this today, the convergent and then the divergent focus. And that's in NLP, it's the kind of peripheral vision, focusing on the subatomic particles and go, this is terrible, this is the way it is. And then it's like, oh, but is it really? Is it like that? Yes, it is. This is the problem. This is the problem. Because we're really, really focusing in on the problem or the person. And then we look back, we come out and we're like, huh, what if? What if that was never true? So it's a really fascinating and powerful way to just unhook that perceived problem and that perceived energy mass. If you start to see you as a vibrating energy mass and the apparent other is a vibrating energy mass, you can stop taking things so seriously and you can understand that, of course, you can influence it and you can soothe your cells and the other people around you's cells. So let's look at the convergent and divergent letting go. So we'll do it with stress and then we'll do it with time. And again, I cannot emphasize enough the absolute need to practice these techniques. Like the intermittent fasting, which so many people get phenomenal results in January, and then possibly stopped or possibly dropped down the self-discipline. Why? When you know it works, when you know how much better you feel. So get on with your intermittent fasting, the breath work. Everybody knows you literally start breathing differently for 2 minutes. You change your own chemistry. Keep going with that. So that's 2 powerful tools you've got under your belt. Letting go as well. Knowing about it is not enough. Join in the gym. Join in Janice's wellness hub doesn't make you better. You have to take action. And this is where we can get caught up. We get distracted with life. We do not take the time out for the cells. And we forget. So all that I'm doing is reminding you, and I absolutely do this too. So I'm not lecturing. I'm just saying this is as humans what we do. And that's what's going to be brilliant about the festivals. And if you can come on our 4-day retreat in Loch Allen, where you just get right into nature, right into the protocols and the technique and the wild medicine, and you can really, really come out the other side in a very different space and place. But this journey that here is ongoing. You don't arrive and stay, I'm awakened, I'm ecstatic, I'm in bliss. Generally speaking, we'll go back into these states where, we're like waves. But it's understanding that you can feel like that and you can choose to go there when you want. And how you do that is by that unfolding and unraveling of the past and letting it all go. Okay, so we'll start off with anxiety and stress. And I'm going to take you from one side. It's the extremes. So it's almost like if you think the extreme left and the extreme right. This is the way you do it. No, this is the way you do it. And you just keep revisiting the extremes. And then eventually the energy falls away and you come back into this place and you start to realize, oh, I was choosing to go to that other place. And now, in this moment, I am choosing to come back into this neutral space. So you can do this with your eyes closed or open. It's up to you. Very often it's more powerful when your eyes are closed because you're not distracted by what you can see. But fill your boots, do it your way. So I want you to just think about how stressed and anxious you become. And maybe you have a person or a situation that's really triggering you at the moment. So go to the most anxious, stressful, why, if only, but yes, well, I can't change them, I can't control them, and then shift your focus over to complete acceptance, expansion, and free will, free from the negative, stressful thoughts, changing your own chemistry. And then flip back. Yeah, but what about this? And they did this and they did that. And I felt it and I took it personally and I wanted to control it. And I'm judging them and they're judging me. And then flip back to, none of that needs to be. I can expand and release and let go of all of that. And then flip back. Yeah, but what about this? And why, what, where, when? Trying to figure it out, wanting to control, feeling separate, feeling cut off and separate, feeling hurt. What about that? And what about this? And it's their fault. And yeah, I can't control them. And they're trying to control me. And then flip back to complete courage, acceptance, and peace. And how does that feel now? Ping a wee message in the box. Let me know if you could feel a difference in either side there. And let me know how your body is feeling and responding to that shift in focus. Because that's all it is. You're still in the room. You've just completely changed your perception of what you thought was going on. Feel less annoyed. Brilliant. So obviously, I'm just giving you a taster. You can sit with that exercise yourself. And we always talk about release to completion. And just keep doing it over and over again until you start laughing or you start smiling. Because you're like, oh my God, yeah, it was me doing it to me yet again. Of course, the apparent others help. But the more you practice this, the less likely you are to go into that place or space. And the other thing I found when I was learning this was that I would expect a reaction and no reaction came. And then very often, the apparent others will come in and push a wee bit harder because, we come from a big family and we used to all round on one person that said something or did something, and we would all totally slag them and rip them to shreds until they reacted. And that was what we did for enjoyment, which is pretty cool when you think about it. But you learn when you're being rounded on and when people are so angry, they want to hurt you. They want you to feel what they're feeling because the mirror neurons in the brain, that's what we're doing. We're mirroring. So let's do it with time. Because patience is pretty much, especially when it comes to healing, if you're going to embark on a real healing journey, it's going to take you 2 years, the end. So anybody that's telling you it can change in one day, your habits, etc., it's all about repetition and practice. The body, and I'm not saying miracles can't happen because they can and they do. But in general, if you do what you always did, you'll get what you always got. So we need to just gently tend the garden. Or a living, breathing mass of microbes and energy. I mean, our perception of the body was complete BS, and our medical model still functions as if we're a big lump of meat and that we have no influence over this phenomenal ecosystem, which, of course, most of us now, certainly if you're following me, you'll be understanding that a very different perception of the body, which is way more exciting. And when you work in the electromagnetic field, obviously, healing can happen instantly. But if you keep going back to old habits, old fear and stress, then the body's going to respond in the same way. I wish it was different, but we have to change our habits. That's the harsh reality. So patience, patience, patience with yourselves, with you, because most people, when it comes to natural healing, give up. That's the reality. Because we're used to, well, I tried it for 2 months and it didn't work. 2 months is nothing out of 2 years. It's the perseverance and the patience with any whether you want to play the piano, whether you want to run a marathon, you have to persevere and be patient. And if you want to heal, you're going to need patience. So let's do a release on patience and the concept of time. Okay. So we're going to flip to I've been doing this for ages and it's nothing's working, nothing worked. And I tried this and I tried that and I'm not getting enough time. And it's I've got so many things to do. And then you flip to the other side, which is saying there's no such thing as time. Allow the concept of time to unravel. We're in this quantum soup of energy where time does not exist, where patience just is. We are the observer. And flip back, yeah, but what this? I've got to do this, and I've got kids, and I've got parents, and I've got a job, and I've got this, and I've got the next thing, and I can't fit everything in. I don't have time, and yeah. And then flip back to there's no such thing as time. I have all the time I could ever need. I am pure energy, light, electromagnetic field with free will and an ability to raise my own vibration at will. And then flip back, yeah, but what about this and why and what about that next thing? And I don't have time and I'm racing the clock and I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I've got to do the next thing. Yeah, but it's all right for you to say and do. And then flip back to having all the time in the world. There's time as a concept, a structure of 3D reality. It doesn't even exist. It's not even real. And maybe it can be bent. So again, just a slight taster of the difference in perception. Now, again, we're in the room, you're in your room, we never went anywhere, but could you feel that in your body when you shifted your focus from yeah, 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 poor me, to, oh, I am energy, intelligence, timeless. Let me know again, pop it in the box how that felt for you. And how does the body feel? Fantastic. You can feel the lightness in your body. Because we're going from when we move from the big physical meaty part of the human body into the energetic side of the body, which is invisible to most of us, although some people can see it. That's where we're working. And you can feel like to ah from stress to relief. Even if you say the word, you'll feel the body. Once you get good at this, if you're not feeling it now, don't worry. I was cut off from the neck down. But when you feel the body responding and reacting, and if you're an empath, and there's a lot of people are empaths and they're picking up on other people's stress. And very often, what can happen is when you're an empath, is that you feel other people's stress and you think it's your own. And that's why these techniques are so powerful. So, just again, let's just do a little bit of the Sedona method again. That's a technique from the Sedona method. And just in this moment, feel what is there in your body. Are you picking up on somebody else's stress? Or is it your microbiome? Is it yours? Is it the apparent other's problem? It doesn't even matter what it is. You can still release it. And you can also tune out from other people's stress, because I can pick up on other people's stress immediately from a distance. I know things. I don't know what you call that when you feel, but I can feel it very strongly. And now I'm starting to hone that skill. So just welcome anything that's in the body, any contraction, any feelings, any anxiety, any fatigue, all of whatever's there in your energy system in this moment in time. Welcome it completely and just let it go. Okay, and again, feel what is there in the body in this moment. It could be in thinking, it could be in feelings. Maybe you're not feeling anything, you're just nice and light. Welcome everything that is there in this moment, embrace it, thank it, and let it go. And welcome all wanting control, feeling out of control, security, or feeling insecure, approval, disapproval of yourself and apparent others, separation, wanting to be separate, feeling separate, and oneness, wanting oneness. So, welcome all of that and just let it go. Welcome everything. Whatever's going on in your cells, all the labels and concepts you've been holding on to without even realizing, or everything that no longer serves you, just welcome it completely and then just let it go. Set it free. Okay, so whether you're watching this live or on replay, I really appreciate feedback on if you've had any feeling an aha, like, whoa, Very often, not always, so don't get disappointed if you've not had that sudden clearing and like feeling of going into this space where emotional suffering has disappeared. Because regardless of whether you've had a very clear physical experience, you have let go if you've been intending. So very often you feel you think, well, that didn't work. Because we like to judge, obviously. You think, well, I was doing that, but I don't know if I'm doing it right. All that claptrap. It's just feel it, let it go. It, do not complicate it. And know that if you've brought some situation or some person you're in conflict with in, and all the feelings and the stories around it, the concepts, welcome it and let it go. It's all about intention. You are putting a clear intention out to let go of the reactions to the apparent others or to the situations you perceived that you were in. And then your perception can shift literally in real time. But again, it may not feel like it shifts. So just pay attention over the next few days and see if life's just got a little bit easier. So you have the power and you can just repeat. Anytime I have energy in the body, what happens is we want to make a story out of it because we want to make it logical. I feel like this because of this. And as I keep saying, we're just guessing. Maybe it's a solar flare. Maybe it's somebody we're very connected to going through something. Maybe it's the microbiome shouting, give me beer and pizza. Maybe it's the past moving through. Maybe it's just the weather. You do not know. So when we clamp down and this is why I'm feeling like this and it's because of you, we want to justify and we want to make sense of it. So I highly recommend, as Joe Dispenza says, get very comfortable with the unknown. I've got no idea why I'm feeling like this. But what I do know is I can welcome the feeling and I can let it go. And any feelings of disapproval, either about yourself or others, judgment, heavy judgment, bringing other people down in order to sell yourself or to feel better yourself. Bring all that in, welcome all of that, and just let that go too. So you have the power to choose. You have the power to hang on, and you have the power to let go. Superpower. So have a wonderful day. I hope you're all feeling lighter and brighter. And I will chat to you. Yeah, I'll chat to you tomorrow. Ciao.